Well, the San Francisco 49ers just had an incredible day, a wild day for the 49ers. The biggest of moves, of course, being that they signed left tackle Trent Williams, who is back in camp, who was here today. He got paid in preparation, of course, for moving this massive boulder up the mountain, and he won't be moving that boulder alone. The 49ers also signed another linebacker, dropped a wide receiver, got a veteran back from injury, did a defensive tackle restructure, a wide receiver restructure, got some Ricky Pearsall updates, and I'm here to break it all down for you, starting with Trent Williams is in the house. My goodness, the 49ers have signed Trent Williams to a 3-year, $82.66 million contract with $48 million at signing, with $25.69 million signing bonus. My word. Congratulations to Trent Williams. He already had, 70-something on that contract, so it probably sounds like more money than it probably is, I guess, in retrospect. No, it's a lot of money. It just is what it is. But the big dog was seen boarding a private jet last night, and then all of a sudden, from that point forward, it was just, Twitter just could not handle anything other than hearing more about Trent Williams. And then early this morning, it just flooded the internet as all sorts of big sports reporters were calling it unofficially done. And now we know the 49ers have signed Trent Williams to this massive deal, $48 million guaranteed. Wowza. This is a good feeling, right? Like, this is a good feeling. It's good for all the holdouts and stuff to be over. It almost feels like this was the plan in some respects, but boy, I hope not. And we've got a lot of other transactions and things we got to get to, but first, just let me know how you're feeling right now, Faithful. Trent Williams is in the house. The gang is back together. Let it breathe, Faithful. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling. Are you over the moon? Are you just hyped? Are you exhausted? Like, where are you at right now? I look forward to seeing your comments in below the video. Now, Trent Williams being back and ready to go for week 1 is a massive big deal. And there were a lot of things that came out about that I just want to hop over. And then we're going to get to a bunch of other guys that we have to get to, of course, for sure. But Trent Williams, 3 years, he previously had $77.31 million left on his original deal for 3 years. They restructured, giving him 3 years, $82 million, with $48 million at signing. The 49ers tacked on $5.35 million from his original deal, which should offset the $5.3 million in fines Williams has incurred. My goodness, $5 million in fines. Isn't that nuts? I can't even imagine that. Now, Trent Williams, just a great PFF stat here. Trent Williams, 98.1 PFF grade since 2021. Since 2021, the second best offensive lineman since 2021, 93.4. My goodness, what an absolute beast, a hoss. And you love that he's wearing red and gold this season, don't you? Left tackle's AAV now. The updated chart shows Trent Williams atop left tackles at 27.5 million AAV, average annual value. And then Darisaw and Tunsil at 25 and 26 million respectively. Williams, 3-year AAV of 27.55 has him as the highest paid left tackle. However, among all tackles, he's third behind Tristan Wirfs and Penei Sewell. So there you go. Whatever. Take that for what it is. I mean, the man is getting paid very well, and he deserves it. He's earned it. All right. How big of a deal is this man right here, this hoss, staying in red and gold? I mean, can it be overstated? Can it really be overstated? I don't know, man. Until this guy starts falling off a cliff and aging, I just don't see how you could feel any other way about it. Was this planned from the beginning? I don't know, but we got BA last week. Now we have Trent, critical components of the gang getting back together, which has me, of course, hyped, as it should have everybody. And then, of course, this offensive line, I mean, you look at it without Trent, and there's a lot to be worried about. And, yeah, you can be excited about Dominic Puni, as I am too, but he's not the savior of the offensive line. He's a guard who's going to help on the right side, and it's an improvement. And you'll take an improvement, but we have yet to see what he can do in an actual football game. And so I just don't want to, get too ahead of ourselves there. Then you look at Trent Williams and what he brings to the left side. I mean, he completely makes Aaron Banks a much better guard than he probably is, as anybody would be standing next to a Hall of Fame player. That's just the way that it is. But Trent said today, by the way, I don't want to miss this because this is key here. Trent said today that he sees himself playing as long as he's healthy. So we can just stop talking about the retiring thing. It's like, I'm tired of talking about that. The guy said it himself today. Oh my goodness. Like, what a beast. He said it today that he is not going to retire until he feels like he's really lost a step health-wise, and that's not going to happen. By the way, the way they restructured this deal makes it seem like he's got 2 more seasons left in him. That's just the way that it's structured. Obviously, that doesn't mean a whole lot technically, but I just want to make sure we give it there. Now, another big move that happened today was the Deebo Samuel. He carried a salary cap hit of $28.6 million for 2024, but today he restructured. Deebo Samuel restructured. Not everyone knows that. I can't believe it. It's just wild. By converting most of his $21 million base salary of signing bonus, the 49ers have lowered the cap hit to $12.2 million for 2024, over $60 million in savings. Now, I want to be clear here. I don't think that this actually means a whole lot for this season. It's not like the 49ers are like, we got this other guy lined up that we're going to sign, and we need a lot of cap space to make it happen. I think this is all rolling over into next year, and this is going to provide an opportunity for Brock Purdy's upcoming contract. I don't think it's all Brock Purdy either, to be fair, because Brock Purdy's contract really won't impact the 49ers for another year after that. But whatever the case is, I understand they're getting things in order, and the cap rollover here is probably what we're expecting to see, and the 49ers are in a great healthy position in that particular regard. So is he going to get traded now? I think that now you would say, because of the new guaranteed money, he's not going to get traded this season. And I didn't think he was going to get traded anyways, but there were people talking about, hey, keep an eye on him. Now that Brandon Aiyuk is signed, Deebo Samuel could be on his way out before Thanksgiving, before that trade deadline. And right now, I don't see that ever. There's no possible way. How bad would it have to get? Like, win one game, lose the rest? Like, that's how bad it has to get for them to trade away Deebo Samuel after just guaranteeing him so much money? It just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't see that happening. I think, if anything, this is a good sign and shows and goes to prove that the 49ers can keep these guys around as long as they're willing to be flexible, and as long as Jed York is willing to sign that paycheck. There are still options out there. I mean, it never feels like it's possible, and then things like this happen. You're like, look at us right now. Look at it. I can't believe it. The only thing missing now, of course, is Christian McCaffrey, which is the other great news. Christian McCaffrey was out there as well today. So, yay, Christian McCaffrey's on the field. So you've got everybody back. And then you took Deebo, who, if he was upset, was very quiet about it. And you saw an opportunity to take advantage of a guy that you could give some guaranteed money to and lower your cap hit. Awesome play. Absolutely love it. And this 49ers team is not just stacked, but stacked going forward, which is exciting. Christian McCaffrey back out there, of course. Not a big surprise, because Christian McCaffrey said it himself it was right around the time that the Titans preseason game was happening. It was right before or right after that. Christian McCaffrey said if he had to, he could play right now. If it was game time, if it was a real game, he would have played. So I don't think that cap strain was a big deal. I think that they're veterans. They're taking things very slow, taking things very easily, wanting to make sure that he has a nice long run in front of him, and hopefully is very healthy for a long ways to go. Hopefully that's a sign of what's to come as well. Not that I don't love Christian McCaffrey. I do. I got his jersey, but I obviously hope that Jordan Mason gets in there and takes some reps whenever it's possible for Christian McCaffrey to get some rest when there's a comfortable lead or whatever, just to make sure that Jordan Mason stays comfortable, stays in rhythm, and that Christian McCaffrey is as rested as he possibly can as you go week by week throughout the season. Obviously, number one is win the game, but number two is have you guys as healthy as long as possible. My goodness. So that was not a move that was done per se, but there were other moves out there. I can't believe it. There's so many moves. So if we're looking at the next transactions, there are transactions that were yesterday and today. So firstly, you had, it's not switching for me. There we go. So you have Brandon Parker, who was signed to a 1-year deal, offensive tackle. So there's a depth guy there. And then you have Ricky Pearsall, who was put on the reserve non-football injury list, NFI list. Unfortunately for him, that means that he'll be out for a few games. But, obviously understanding the situation. The fact that he's even around the team is just awesome right now. I can't even believe that. We talked about Sam Okuwanu yesterday getting signed to the practice squad, which is fantastic. Love to have more defensive line depth. And then Sebastian Gutierrez being let go. He's out. Then today, we saw Tate Martin leave. That wide receiver gone. And Deshaun White come join the team. And that's Deshaun White, UDFA from he signed with the Bills last year. And he was on the Bills practice squad for like a week. He has not been able to make it on a football team. He was on the Raiders practice squad for like a week. He's not been able to maintain any status on a football team. But if you're trying to look for the bright side, he was a starter for the Sooners 2018 to 2022, where he saw 259 tackles, 19 for loss, 5.5 sacks, 8 passes defensed, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries throughout his 63 games. 49 of those were starts. So, he's not a nobody out there. He's a somebody. He's just not a somebody in the NFL yet, and maybe this opportunity will come. So where does that put us at right now? After all of that, where are we left with this football team? I think you have Trent Williams is probably going to play on Monday night. It felt like this was kind of all part of the plan. And he was gearing up, and he was ready, and he was going to be here for Jets prep. That's how it looks to me. Christian McCaffrey, he's playing week 1. No doubt. No doubt. That's just the way it's going to be. Knock on wood. I just have to do it. It doesn't mean anything, but I have to do it. I can't help myself. And then you have Brandon Aiyuk, who will play week 1. The question about Brandon Aiyuk will be how healthy he's going to be, how comfortable he's going to be. That will be an interesting one. We'll have to wait and see how he's doing, how he's looking, and if the ramp up for him's enough, if he's had enough time. But I think he would be the only one, just because of rhythm, that I suppose there could be a risk there. We'll have to wait and see. Some other things out there that I just wanted to share, some things that I love seeing. Let's start here with this one. Trent Williams stating in his interview today with the media that Ricky Pearsall's shooting incident made him want to come back sooner. Talked about a really cool interaction that he had with Ricky Pearsall during his very, very, very short visit during OTAs. And how it was kind of a cool interaction with him, and he was thinking about him. So that's cool. And then, of course, obviously, everybody making a big deal about who was showing up in practice today. So it's nice to see Christian McCaffrey out there, Trent Williams out there, and Brandon Aiyuk out there. So all good. And it feels good to see those, doesn't it? Malik Collins, completely forgot about this restructure. He also got a restructure today, converting $6.79 million of his salary into a signing bonus that frees up $5.432 million in cap space in 2024. San Francisco is the number 1 ranked team in available cap space at $50 million heading into week 1. That was this morning, before any of the other moves had taken place, right? Was 9 a.m. So, yeah, it was this morning before official information came out about any of those other moves, which is pretty wild. How the 49ers afforded to get these contracts done, believe it or not. They entered today with an NFL high $50 million in 2024 cap space. That's thanks largely to a league high rollover of unused cap from 2023. The beauty of having a quarterback making under $1 million. Something that cannot be understated. That has been a major factor in all of this. Ricky Pearsall. There was some hate out there for the 49ers throwing the party. And continuing to hold the party despite the fact that one of their players was shot. And this is really interesting from John Lynch. I want you to listen to this.
All this going on, we had a team party that was scheduled. When I got to the hospital and visited with Ricky, it's one of the first things he said, "Mr. Lynch, what's going on? I'd really like everyone to go to that party, and I'd also like to talk to some of my teammates." I said, "Ricky, take care of yourself." But kind of a cool moment. We were able to pipe Ricky into the party, and he FaceTimed the entire group, and that show of love and respect was a real special moment for our team.
I mean, what a guy! This guy's a hero. I can't believe it. What a cool guy! That after everything he's been through, the first thing he's saying to John Lynch, or one of the first things he's saying, I guess he didn't say it was the first thing he said. One of the first things that he's saying is that he wants to make sure that his teammates all still go and party and don't let what happened to him, slow them down or be a hindrance on them having that very important party. And he wants to see his boys. I mean, doesn't that say a lot about his character? What a cool guy. I love this guy more and more every time I learn about him. By the way, Tim Ryan on Rocky Pearsall, this is crazy. I talked to him yesterday. So we're talking about Labor Day right now, okay? I talked to him yesterday. He was actually in the weight room on Labor Day. Thank God it's not worse than it was. I already know this. His street cred has gone up tremendously around here. Not that street cred is the most important thing in the world. I mean, his health is more important than that. But my word, the guy in 48 hours is in the facility after being shot. I cannot believe that. Lynch said the bullet didn't even strike a rib and is optimistic that he'll not only be able to resume his career, but will be able to play this season. That's an important reminder from Matt Barrows, by the way. Well, from John Lynch, by the way, that, all of that goes up in the table. The first thing that we all think about, I hope, is he going to be okay? That's the first thing I thought about, right? You're like, is this guy going to be all right? That's horrible news. You don't want to hear about anybody you know of at all. You don't want to hear about anybody getting shot. That's a horrible thing. But then to have that happen to him and for him to be okay and then be able to resume his career and potentially even play this season, and he's in the weight room. I'm sure he's not doing heavy lifting or anything, but he's in the weight room. That is a pretty wild situation and very, very, very fortunate for him. Very fortunate. So that's very cool. All right. And then the comment down below that, if you didn't see that, John Lynch said Ricky Pearsall was trying to buy luggage for road trips when Saturday's robbery attempt occurred. If you did not know about that, I did not realize kind of where he was going and why he was down there, all that stuff. That was kind of part of the motivation there. And then the final thing, to end on a high note, because this was a great tweet. This is a great tweet. I don't know why I'm not following him. I don't know. I mean, I see his tweets all the time, so I just assumed I was following him. Purdy, year 3. Deebo, back in 2021 form. Ricky Pearsall is immortal. Nick Bosa, already in shape. BA ready for 100-plus targets. Not sure if he'll get him, but he's ready for him. CMC stock is up. Trent Williams is back. Defense ready to ball. Kyle and John 2024 Masterclass Draft. We are so back. All of these, some of them are hot takes, but all of them fair arguments at the very least, and all wonderful, positive, exciting things, which have me hyped for football. Nice job, Phone9, on that one. I'm super stoked, guys. This is going to be super fun. Every single day has been fun. We're 6 days away from the Jets. 6 days for Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Aiyuk to get reps and to get ready and to be healthy and ready to go. Week 1 under the lights on Monday Night Football, ESPN. It's going to be absolutely electric. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to doing it and going along through it with all of you. So make sure you're subscribed. Thank you so much for joining and jumping in the comments and all that good stuff. I'm having an absolute blast doing all of this. And as always, as we're feeling optimistic and hyped about the season, what a time to be alive.